Indian literary heritage. And then he was importantly invited during the Kolkata Literary Festival 2016, where he was praised by no other than Ruskin Bond, Amartya Sen, Nayantara Sehgal, Derek O'Brien, Abhinav Bindra, etc. I think that deserves a hand. And another thing is that Imtiaz Ali is also considering the novel's story for a movie. So maybe you can pick up some of them to as stars in a movie. Okay. He also got the Best Newcomer Maritime Author Award by an organization called Sea Folks for the career magazine Mary Leap 2016 for people interested in sea-related careers as such. Okay, and he is a motivational speaker in different schools and colleges across India. Now for the rest, I think I would like to invite him on stage and carry on. All yours.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everybody, and all the teachers present here. Okay, I'll tell it like a story. I was to talk on marine as well as this novel, but I'll connect myself with the story, how I came to TMI and how it all happened, and what all. By the way, I want to ask who is interested in reading and writing here? Anybody? One or two hands. Okay. I'll tell you the difference between profession and passion. See, you can call that my profession is sailing, which I'm still doing, and I'm about to do that for the rest of my life as much as I can do. But passion is something which is giving you a lot of happiness when you're doing it. It's not that this is not giving you happiness. Maybe for someone it might not be, but you have to do this. This is your priority. Means first get the degree, get into a good company, get a job, and if you have a passion for yourself, let's say you belong to a low middle class family or upper middle class family or a middle class family, you will not be having that much of sources that you can go ahead and without a career you can go ahead with your profession, with your passion. No, first get the profession, do good in it, and you will have a time in your life that you will be able to carry on with your passion along with your profession. So some people ask me, have you left sailing? No, I have not, and I'm going for my next sailing as fourth again in the month of March. Okay, let's start this. When I first visited to TMI, I'll be reading an extract from the book and I'll be connecting it through, and maybe you all will be able to connect that with yourself. Remember the first day when you came for admission, maybe alone, maybe with your parents, you're carrying your bags, you came to the Talegaon station, and now what happens? Try to connect yourself with this, okay? I was dead tired with about 40 hours of traveling by now. I was traveling from Bokaro Steel City, so it takes around 40 hours including everything. Okay, so I was dead tired with about 40 hours of traveling by now, and all I wanted was a bed to lie down and go to sleep. I started walking past the gates on the seemingly endless road, which went up all the way to the campus. It was breathtakingly beautiful, shaded by large trees on both sides. Let me tell you, when I joined, there was a banyan tree on the left side. When you enter the main gate, just before the lake, there was a banyan tree which has been cut now. But that time it was like a jungle on the left side. So I have written about that. I had 2 bags plus an impossibly heavy trolley to carry all by myself up that road. All these days, I had been super excited to get into this very place, and now that I have finally arrived, I wanted to get inside as soon as possible. But the road seemed to be an endless one, and the weight of the luggage made the journey seem longer. Finally, the road came to an end, only to mark the beginning of a deep, beautiful lake. The sun rose above it, its rays piercing through the water, making it all look like a scene straight out of some Bollywood rom-com. I walked past it, strolling down the road, circling it, marveling at its gorgeousness. I crossed a big overhead tank soon. You remember that overhead tank? I had been walking for almost a kilometer now, and I was getting tired. Finally, I saw another gate and walked past it. Few parents along with the students were gathered nearby, and I was perhaps the only fresher around who had not brought a family member along. They were busy registering for something, and then I found out it was for hostel seats. I figured out my name on the list, and I was allotted the roll number 200937TP307 and an accommodation in hostel 2. Sadly, my walk was not over yet, as hostel 2 was again away from hostel 1, and I had to walk that distance too. But half the way down the pathway, the wheels of my trolley gave away and broke down. I already had 2 bags to carry and somehow managed to push the trolley through rest of the remaining tract. It was an almost inhuman effort on my part, but thankfully I finally got there and registered for my room. There were several notices on the notice board for freshers, but I had neither the energy nor the wish to spare a glance at them. I finally reached my room 038. My roommate was a guy from Lucknow and he was in the room. I'm sure there must be a lot of Lucknow people here. We used to call that there's half of Lucknow over here. I laid on the bed waiting for our call. My first day at the college was about to begin. Soon enough, we had to rush around to fetch our shoes and other uniforms and report to our proctor in the TV corridor. His words are still fresh and clear in my memory. Here I am your mother, father, I am your friend, your guide at any point of time. If you ever... Let's wait for that.
proctor ने लाइट कम कर दिया बली
If you ever have a problem, all you have to do is to talk to me. Good day, boys. I remember thinking of myself that he is the person who is going to help me a lot in these problems. Okay, when we joined in the year 2009, you won't be knowing, but all my faculties would be remembering that the swine flu was there when we entered. Even I'll tell you, when I entered the station, Pune station, I saw people wearing masks and I was not aware what is going on. Then I took the newspaper and came to know about it, and I actually realized that the swine flu was the most effective here in Pune. So anyhow, it was difficult for me to decide what to do, but I had no other option. I came to college, and I remember for 1 or 2 months initially, we even had masks when we were coming to our classes. Okay, now let's talk something funny, something related to young people. Okay, how many of you do bicycling? You know how to ride a bicycle?
yes.
Only this much. All of you don't know how to ride bicycle.
Rana
Is it so tough?
yes.
Okay, let me choose any one random guy from the audience, and he should be audible to me as well. So let's choose this guy here in the front. You know how to ride a bicycle? Okay, what's your name? Manan. And what's the name of your girlfriend or crush? Let's say you have one. Okay, any name? Or crush, let's say crush, not girlfriend. Preeti. Okay. So, sit please.
राहुल बोला जो
Let's say you are doing your ME?
NT.
So, did you have physics, chemistry, etc. in your 11, 12? You must be having, right? Okay. Let's say, did you take tuition?
Tension got busy.
Tuitions. Okay. Let's say you used to go to your tuitions in bicycles. Okay. And your so-called girlfriend Preeti was also there. You and her, but in separate bicycles, let me tell you. Okay, what happened? I am going to put you in this story, one small paragraph. I'm going to read that with you and her in the story. Okay, what happened? One Saturday, we had early morning tuition. It was 11 a.m. by the time our classes got over, and the weather was burning hot. Temperature was soaring high, and we decided to get back to our own homes as fast as possible. The sun was tiring and scorching. Let's change the scenario a bit. You are taking tuition, let's say here in the campus, and you are coming from the hostel. So so that you all can imagine what happened actually. Because the slope is high, right? So when you come, there's a slope after the laundry, near the workshop. Just near the workshop, her bicycle chain dismantled itself. The heat was unbearable and there was not a single shop around a kilometer radius. Having no option left, Manan decided to look into the problem, and Preeti looked tired and exhausted from such a long cycle ride and the cruel sun. Her face was flushed pink, a deeper hue than her pink salwar kameez that she wore that day. He was feeling sorry for his angel, so hurriedly he set to work. Setting a cycle chain was a child's play for him because he is going to be a nautical officer, so it's obviously a child's play. But after his oh so successful endeavor with it, he ended up with grease-stained fingers. Alright, you have grease-stained fingers. How will you clean it? Somebody said water. You cannot wash grease with water. Okay, let me read further then what happened after that with Manan. He felt like a fool standing there, and he decided to wash his hands in the pond a few hundred meters away, which is the cooling pond, you can say, near the workshop. But he was exhausted. But just then, something rather theatrical happened. Just like a heroine straight from a Hindi movie, Preeti offered her dupatta for Manan. Alright, let's move little bit towards the experiences at sea. Yeah, I will read one or two extracts, but let's make it like a story so that I can connect it. See, writing, for me it was a very difficult task because studying in TMI you don't get time, at least for other things. So because you have assignments, you have workshop, you have everything. You have to attend the sports activities, house activities and everything. So even I had that thing in mind that I have to write since 2006, but I could not write it when I was in college, of course, and I did not even pay much of attention towards it. Once I passed out, when I went for my internship, I had little bit of time, then I started writing it because I had it in my mind that my passion is still lagging somewhere and I have to carry that forward. I was going on with my profession and passion I started further. Okay, so I will tell you what happened on my first day of shift. Maybe some of you, especially the engine guys, will realize this. I was sailing in the Persian Gulf. I joined in Doha, Qatar, which is very, very hot, and the month was August. So you can imagine it's very hot. It was a tanker, and COPTs were there. Probably if third year guys are there, they'll be able to understand. So COPTs were there, and it was steam driven COPT. So what I want to tell you, if NT guys are not understanding, the point is that it was a ship in which the engine room will be very hot. Okay, because there will be steam maybe leaking from somewhere and COPTs will be running while discharging. So the engine room was very hot. I reached probably in the afternoon at 11, 12 and I went to my cabin, and then I got a call from the engine room. Probably the second engineer was there. He called me, come to the engine room. I did not even know how to reach the engine room. Now you have an option that you have PVD here, so you can get an idea before going to ship. But I did not have even one single idea how to reach the engine room, and that was itself a task for me. Anyhow, I reached the steering floor. I went out and moved towards the poop deck, and I went through the steering flat. And then I thought, no, this is not the engine room probably. I came back, then I again anyhow entered. Then I was looking for helmet. I was standing there for 10 minutes, there was no helmet. And then I remembered one thing, that always TMI has taught me one thing: safety first, safety first. Everywhere you go, you will find boards written safety first. My mind was telling me that my faculties and teachers have told me that you should not enter the engine room without helmet. And there was no helmet, and I called up the engine room again that, sir, I don't have a helmet. I don't have a helmet. Although it happens, some companies, it may not happen other companies, but I was just told ki, are you serious? Are you asking for a helmet? Anyway, I got a helmet later on, but what I want to tell you here is your safety is in your hands, because if something would have, later on I understood that if something would have happened, let's say I would have got hurt somewhere, in that case, nobody will tell that it was not my fault. Everybody will tell that he was not wearing helmet, so the accident happened. So your safety is in your hands. This is what I wanted to tell about this incident. Now, something about TMI. I realized while I was going through my class 4 that the TMI notes were the best notes, especially your own made notes. It's not that if you are getting the handouts, that is also good, but if you have actually made your own hand notes and written that yourself, that will help you a lot. Why I'm telling you? If you have borrowed handout studying for the exams and kept it somewhere, and you are looking at it, let's say after 4 years, 5 years, probably you will not be able to understand that as much as when you have the handout or the notes which you have written yourself. Maybe you will write some point here, some point there, and you will always click that, yeah, this was the point and this is the stress which I had given, so I should consider this point. You will be able to recollect. And I realized this while working with the freshwater generator. While working, I realized this, that I should have been having the college notes with me. And nowadays you don't need to carry hard copy. You just click a picture, you upload it either in Google Drive or you take in your mobile. You can always carry that. But I would just suggest you carry your notes, make your own notes. It's very, very beneficial, especially when you're going for your class 4 or second mates. Alright. Again, if you have joined this career, be ready to face the worst of worst situations. Do not step back. I'll tell you, as I told you, I was sailing in the Persian Gulf. That ship was a seawater cooled ship, and there was no freshwater cooling. So the ship was Chinese built, and it was some 6-7 years old, but the condition was really, really bad. Every time the steam is leaking while discharging, every time some or the other water is leaking, every time generator cooling temperature is going high. So lot many alarms, and you cannot rest. And the worst part was that we were sailing in the Persian Gulf where the temperature is almost 50 in the engine room, and we were going on discharging. So COPTs were running, 4 COPTs were running, so the temperature was reaching almost 55-56. Adding up to that, the ECR AC was not working, and I'm telling you, literally we were drinking 1 bottle of water at once, and another point of time we had, after 10 minutes we needed another 1 bottle of water, because the moment you drink, everything is sweating. It was so tough conditions. So make yourself ready for the toughest conditions. It's not that here sometimes you would be feeling that you have to wake up at 5 and you have to go for PT and all. I know most of you don't like to go for PT at 5:30 or 6, but in the ship when you get an alarm, you have to wait at any point of time, and at least when you're junior. Because as a junior, even alarm was with second engineer, I had to go to the engine room. Even alarm was with fourth engineer, I had to go to the engine room. So you be ready for the worst situations. Make yourself ready right from now. And again, I realized while going through the class 4 exams and while sailing also, when I met some people from other colleges other than Pilani, that we were taught everything that was required. And sometimes it may be possible that your seniors who are from other colleges are not knowing that particular thing, and you are knowing that thing only because you have studied here. So be thankful that you are studying here. I have felt that myself. I'm not telling just because Principal Sir is sitting. And again, one more thing. I have taken a 1-year gap in between because of some personal problems. So I was thinking that my batchmates are now sailing as 4th engineers, some are going to become 3rd engineers. But later on I realized that everybody has got their own time. You will get it, whatever you deserve, on time. It's like, don't compare with your batchmates, don't compare with others. Try to compete with yourself. And once you are out of the college, you will actually realize that whatever you have to do, you are doing for yourself and your family. That time you cannot compare with others, that they have become 3rd engineers or they have become 2nd officers earlier than me. End of the day, you will be becoming. Like, there's a saying in Hindi कि ज़रूरत से ज़्यादा और नसीब से ज़रूरत से ज़्यादा और वक्त से पहले किसी को कुछ नहीं मिलता. So that I believe that very well. again, some of you might have, let's say, if you have got an E grade, don't get disheartened. Of course, you should not get it, but if you have already got it, don't get disheartened and don't destroy your other results because of that, because some or the other reason, something they say no, that whatever happens for a good reason, and जो होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है. Somewhere or the other, maybe after 5 years you will realize that particular thing which I was thinking was bad at that time is proving to be good for me now. For example, I will say I did my internship from Pipawa. Why I did from Pipawa? Because I did not have CDC. Why not CDC? Because that time I did not clear swimming. Why I did not clear swimming? Because I had an injury in my leg while playing basketball, a prolonged injury, ligament injury. So anyway, that time I was cursing myself. Why did that happen? But now I realize that happened for one good reason. Because in Pipawa, I got so much of time that I completed this novel over there, and that became a good thing for me. Now I realize that. And I'll tell a small story to connect. Maybe किसी ने सुना भी होगा कि जो होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है. अकबर बीरबल की कहानियाँ हम बचपन में सुनते थे. तो एक बार क्या होता है कि अकबर, बीरबल एंड उसके सिपाही जंगल में जाते हैं शिकार करने के लिए. और रास्ते में क्या होता है कि एक हिरन दिखाई देता है, द डियर, एंड अकबर बीरबल से बोलते हैं मेरी तलवार लाओ. वो तलवार देते हैं. जैसे ही वो तलवार निकालने वाले होते हैं, म्यान से उनका अंगूठा कट जाता है. यू नो व्हाट म्यान इज? द केस ऑफ द तलवार, द स्वॉर्ड. ओके, सो ही बिकम्स वेरी एंग्री कि हु डिड दिस, इतना ज्यादा शार्प किसने कर दिया म्यान को, व्हाई यू डिड दिस. सो द बीरबल सेज या कि महाराज हमने किया है. तो ही गेट्स वेरी एंग्री. ही सेज द सिपाहियों कि सिपाहियों इसे ले जाओ और फांसी पर चढ़ा दो. सो ऑल द ट्रूप्स, दैट मीन्स द सिपाहियों एंड बीरबल, वो जाते हैं उसको फांसी में चढ़ाने के लिए, और राजा आगे बढ़ता है, मीन्स अकबर. रास्ते में क्या होता है कि अकबर को जंगली लोग पकड़ लेते हैं, दोज वाइल्ड पीपल. उसे उल्टा लटका देते हैं, आग जलाते हैं, और उसके बाद वो गाना गाते हैं झंगा लाला हुर. उसके बाद उसकी बलि चढ़ाने के लिए ले जाते हैं. जैसे ही वो बलि चढ़ाने वाले होते हैं, वो देखते हैं कि उसका अंगूठा कटा हुआ है. तब उन्हें समझ में आता है दिस गाय इज नॉट प्योर. द माइथोलॉजी सेज दैट इफ यू आर नॉट कंप्लीट then you are not pure. So उसका अंगूठा कटा हुआ था. So they said that he is not pure, we cannot put him into bali, so they leave him. Then Akbar realizes Birbal was right कि जो होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है, और वो उसे दौड़ते हुए बचाने के लिए जाते हैं. जैसे ही वो फांसी में चढ़ाने वाले होते हैं, उसके बाद वो फांसी में चढ़ाने ही वाले होते हैं, तब तक अकबर पहुंचता है, उसे रोक देता है. एंड देन ही सेज स्टॉप. Then he says sorry because of me. सिपाहियों ने तुम्हें घसीट कर ले आया और फांसी पर चढ़ाने ही वाले थे. बीरबल अगेन सेज कि जो होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है, आप महाराज हैं, आप सॉरी मत बोलिए. अब वो महाराज कंफ्यूज्ड कि अब क्यों कह रहा है, अब ये मरने वाला था मेरी वजह से और मुझे ही कह रहा है कि जो होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है. देन बीरबल सेज कि महाराज, अगर आपने मुझे नहीं भेजा होता तो वो लोग मेरी बलि चढ़ा देते आपको छोड़ के. So the thing is, whatever happens, it happens for a good reason. Try to connect yourself with life. And publishing was regarding this novel. Publishing was a tough task for me, and it took me almost 9 years, right from planning to getting published. One thing was in my mind that I will get published. Although many times I got disheartened. I'm telling this because you will be able to connect it with your exams. So I got disheartened, but then I read a line. Remember the worst book you have ever read. If that could be published, yours is much better than that. Right? So connect yourself. Let's say you are not able to get into one particular company in the interviews. Then think that okay, this is not for me. If he can do, I can do, and I might go into better companies, right?
तूने लिखा है ना?
Yeah. Okay. Just to end up with, I'll tell you that the title of my book is Game of Destiny, and the next book which is about to be there in the market or Amazon is And to Live Again. If you just search my name on Google, Suraj Kumar, you will be able to find it. And how you will be able to connect with that book is that the lesson which I have written in that book is, no matter how bad things happen in life, no matter how bad situations you go through, no matter whatever destiny does to you, you will always have a reason to love again, to live again, and to smile again. Thank you.
ये कॉपी किया था बता ये उसमें भी था हाँ बेटा मदर में
I
भी
think he
था
would be willing to take a question or two.
नो क्वेश्चंस मदन बोले
Any questions, please? No problem, you can ask
मेरा और
anything
प्रीति का क्या
related to
हुआ?
book or marine or ship.
मारेगा बास्केटबॉल खेलता है
Maybe if you are scared asking in front of principal, sir, I'll be available near the swimming pool maybe in the evening. I'll take a round of the college, so you can ask me that time.
पकड़ लेंगे इसका
Okay, so thank you, Suraj. Now they are a very smart lot. I teach them, so I'm sure they will get in touch with you on social media, elsewhere, etc. And all, for all the questions that they have. So that not an issue. Okay, so with that we are coming to the end of the talk. But before that.